Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to Wrestle Rock with Rick Connor.
What the F was that entire freaking promo about?
Mark Hallbacher.
She's like the James Ellsworth of women.
And Cory Castle.
I look like Paul London and Brian Kendrick mixed.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Wrestle Rock. It's been a great week of wrestling. I've had some good times. I've had some really terrible times with all this wrestling crap going on. Some of it's awesome. Some of it's just ridiculous. What is going on this week, you guys?
Yeah, I just finished I didn't get a chance to see O'Reilly and Finn Balor yet, which I'm sad that I didn't get to. But what was that Raquel Gonzalez Rhea Ripley match? What a CF! That was one serious Charlie Foxtrot there, boy.
Charlie Foxtrot.
Oh man.
And who does this anymore? What is
Clowns? Clowns do that? Clowns? And you call somebody a bozo, and then you go, "Hey, bozo." Beat it, bozo.
She did that in the match. She did it in the match. Don't get me wrong. It was probably the best spot in the match was stuffing Dakota Kai in a locker and then putting something in front of it so she couldn't get out. That was probably the best spot in the entire match. But woo, I thought that match was. I had high expectations for that match, and that was a mess.
Yeah, I think that's everyone's exact feeling. Like, Raquel Gonzalez is improving. Like, she will be good. I mean, she was really good at in War Games, but this match was not her best showing.
Yeah, well, you think you could take a DVD into the sign and then drop directly on the top of your head on the stage. I screamed out loud when I saw her drop, like straight down on her head. There was no trying to roll out of that. Nothing. She took a straight up pile driver to the stage. But like, dude, we have to stop these handcuffs things. They're starting to use the handcuffs too much again, and the power bombs through stuff on the stage, like these fake floors and the tables with the it's just overdone, and it has no impact whatsoever when it happens.
They're not that big enough to do stuff like that. Like they're bigger women, like they're muscular and they're heavier than, say Dakota Kai or Alexa Bliss, but they're not like, 300 pounders that, even if they were like that much weight crashing through the stage doesn't make much sense.
Yeah, well, they're not big. They're not big. They're like your height, Cory. They're like your height, but because the wrestler girls are all like 5'1", they make them look like they're giants. Like they're like decent, like they're normal sized women. Like then they have them doing like, there was a spot where Raquel like back body drops her onto the table, and only half of her lands on the table, and then the table.
Yeah. Oh, she bent
the back of her head on the floor. Oh my god!
No, thank you.
That match was a mess, and it's a shame because I actually enjoyed both wrestlers. It was just bad match. I mean, everybody's allowed to have them, but Jesus, that was scary.
Off night. It was just an off night for them. For those two.
Yeah, it was wild. I'll give them this. They went at it and they went, just balls to the wall with it. It was just blown spot after blown spot, and that's all it really was. And it was to do that in a match like that in a last woman standing match is just it's dangerous. And but I mean, I got to give it to them. They went out there and they did it. It's not a match that you see every day. A last woman standing match that goes crazy like that. So to their credit, I think they did a good job for what it was and
for what they were dealt. I guess. Yeah.
I think the one positive is they didn't overdo the 10 count. You get a lot of last man standing matches, and they drop, and then the ref starts doing the 10 count. and then they get up, and then it kind of like kills the momentum of the match over and over again. They didn't do the 10 count really till the end. Like they really didn't do a 10 count. So I think it kind of worked. That worked in their favor. So, but I think they actually needed a couple drops where they counted. I think they needed to calm down. It's like, and because they were just like you said, they're putting all the effort in the world into it. They were just dangerous, very dangerous with each other. Like, because then you could see a match. You could see a match like Monday night where Keith Lee and McIntyre went to war, and you could tell it was a safe match. Like they beat the hell out of each other.
Can we agree to be done with Goldberg though?
I've been done with Goldberg 20 years ago.
What'd you say, Rick?
As I would absolutely love to be done with Goldberg. Apparently, nobody else wants to be done with Goldberg. I don't know why.
I think it's mostly the McMahon family don't want to be done with Goldberg. Like, he wasn't even a big draw for you. He was a big draw for your competition. Like, what? Yeah. He's not a draw now. People just are tired. I mean, it's hard to say what a draw is, considering that no one's coming to shows anymore. But I'm saying, like, a ratings draw, like, that doesn't pop a rating to have Goldberg on.
I don't know. Like the whole point of this whole Legends Night thing was to get the ratings up. I don't know. I didn't look at what the ratings actually were for Monday. But I don't. Goldberg. I said this last year when they did the Goldberg versus the Fiend thing, and I didn't know if they were going to do Goldberg versus Reigns or Lesnar or whatever the hell they were planning on doing after that. Goldberg isn't the title isn't the draw. Goldberg is the draw. Goldberg is the thing that's going to draw fans, if at all. Putting him in a title match every single time he's out there is stupid and ridiculous. It doesn't make any sense. The guy's in his 50s. He only works like 3-minute matches, and they're usually not entertaining. It's 50-50 usually with Goldberg anyway, because you have a match like you had
52, 52, 53. I don't know. How old is Goldberg?
I don't know. But you have a match like he had with The Undertaker, which was garbage, and then you have a match like he had with Lesnar, which was pretty good for what it was. But again, it's not worth bringing him in and putting a title on him and taking it off somebody like like McIntyre
in his prime. McIntyre.
I don't think McIntyre in his prime. Right. I don't think you're taking the title off him. I don't think he's losing the title. And the good thing is it's during the Rumble, so this is not a main event. This is going to be a mid-card match because the Rumble itself is the main event. So thank God this won't be like the last match going off the air. It's him wheezing in the ring. And if they do give him the title, that's another thing. That would be a really bad thing to end the Rumble with because there's not a soul, especially the younger generation that is following us, there's not a soul that can believe Goldberg can beat Drew McIntyre. The guy's bigger, he's stronger, he's faster, he's a better wrestler. Like,
I mean, it's the same thing that we were saying last year with the Fiend. They went over to Saudi Arabia. The Goldberg scored him for no reason and completely killed the character because he was on a roll. He was beating people left and right, and then he was the champion. And then Goldberg's just like, oh no, you know what? I just want it. I just want the title one more time.
Well, he was calling himself a superhero. He's like, well, you got to understand, I'm kind of a superhero, and I got to do this for the kids. So I have to defeat the bad guy. And it's like, what? It's like, shut up,
dude. So delusional. So head up your own butt. It's ridiculous.
Well, that's what happens when you walk into WCW. You have like 2 or 3 minute squash matches, and then they just push you straight to the moon. You actually believe you're as good as you think you are. And, multiple wrestlers proved how much of like he couldn't wrestle. He couldn't hang in the ring. He couldn't, like, I don't even know how much of a draw he was. What, about a year? He was a draw until he lost. As soon as they did the cattle prod, that was it. Goldberg was no longer a draw.
Right. Well, as soon as he lost the streak was the draw. The streak was what made people want to see what was going to happen, and then they just like prematurely robbed him of it. They could have kept that thing going until 2021. Like it could have been going on until now.
I forgot. I can't see who it is, but some wrestler just on WWE said they were undefeated for longer than Goldberg. I think it might have been Asuka.
Maybe Asuka, yeah. Asuka would make sense. So it's putting Goldberg in a title match worries me. Is the only thing. It's just because we've said it a couple times now. He took the belt off the Fiend. He took the belt off of Kevin Owens, and neither time should he have done that. So it's scary. You know what I mean?
And look what happened to Kevin Owens after he lost the belt. He went into like hell for 3 years almost.
Right.
Like
he took a real backseat to the main event. He took a real step backwards after losing the title to Goldberg. I meant to say something earlier, but I totally forgot. And you guys can both get mad at me for saying this, but whatever the Karrion Kross thing is, I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't see it. I don't like it. He's just a big dude, but he's not better than he's not as good of a wrestler as Daniel Bryan and Shinsuke Nakamura. He's not an NXT champion. He's not Finn Balor.
Right.
You know? He's not Aleister Black.
Right.
He's another character they're trying to make these new Undertakers.
Right.
That's what
it's Dexter Loomis. That was super cool the way they had him open up the New Year's Evil when they had him put the breaker box up and then was in the suit and everything. That was real neat.
I like that.
Yeah.
I was into that.
I'm not on the Karrion Kross train yet. I'm not on the train yet because he hasn't done anything. He was NXT champion. I know, but he's only had 7 matches total, I think, in NXT or something like that. And they just keep trying to push him to the moon.
He reminds me. Do you remember Rick, the guy who used to wear sucks. He used to wear chaps, and he had a mohawk. He was just an older guy with some tattoos, and he claimed that he was an ECW, and his name was the Equalizer.
You're describing half the indies right now.
Right. It's very just low rent indie, smattering of tattoos and a kind of big dude, but kind of dad bodish. And it's his entrance is cool. The entrance is where it ends from being cool. The lights and the music and the woman, that's all cool. But once he gets in there, it's okay, you went from entity that's cool to some dude who's trying too hard.
Mm-hmm. Honestly, I thought that match helped Damien Priest. I thought it helped him a lot.
Yeah, totally.
I'm still standing when he was sitting there and then he got kicked in the face. I thought that was really well done.
That's what he's supposed to come. He was supposed to be in that angle with Kevin Owens. With Kevin on the SmackDown where Kevin Owens went off the bleachers, he was supposed to come in during that. They were supposed to bring up Damien Priest, from what I heard. Did you guys hear?
Owens and Reigns. Well, Owens was the main guy. Owens said he doesn't really know him, and it made no sense to come out and say he's Kevin Owens' best friend when Kevin Owens' best friend is running around in a Che Guevara outfit, complaining about losing the Intercontinental title.
Dude, that's pretty cool though. He's has a documentary crew following him now because he said once in a throwaway line that they were going to make a documentary about the screw job. it's just pretty great. I like it.
Brilliant.
Yeah,
he's absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, if they're sorry, he's actually brilliant. But Yeah, the Damien Priest thing. It's weird. It's Kevin Owens is 100% right. It didn't make sense to bring him in. It didn't make sense to be like, oh, he's your best friend. Well, why? They have nothing in common. They didn't really run together on the Indies or even in NXT. Like, it was just, did they have any interaction whatsoever that would make this viable? If they wanted to turn around and be like, hey, we're going to put Sami Zayn with Kevin Owens and not necessarily turn Sami Zayn heel, or face rather, but at least pair him up just to be like, hey, will you help me get this guy out of here? That would at least make sense. But the Damien Priest thing, I don't get it. So they were right, I think, to shoot that down. But that's good that we actually see that the wrestler speaks out and actually gets his point across, and they listen to him. You don't hear a lot of that.
So, but
you hear a lot of
seeing that
information.
But seeing that information mixed with seeing that, like, he put over Killer Cross, and Killer Cross has been the guy who, like, when someone gets beat by them, they don't come back to NXT. That, like, this is like, okay, well, Damien Priest might be brought up now to the main roster.
Yeah.
I think he will. I just don't think he's going to be an angle. That's the problem. Now he's going to come out without an angle, and then what do you do with him? Like, I think they're just going to bring him up without a plan, and I don't know if that's smart. He'll probably be in the Rumble, and then he'll probably show up in the Rumble, and I'm not sure where it's going to go from there.
Why not have him feud with, Jey Uso or something like that to get him started? I could see that happening. Like, get a little beef going in the Rumble where they're fighting back and forth and smacking each other around. Maybe one eliminate the other. What's that?
Did you say against Jey Uso?
Yeah, Damien Priest against Jey Uso. I think that would be a solid match. Why not? At least to get Damien Priest started. You know what I mean? Like, to get him, have him have a feud or a match at Elimination Chamber or Fastlane or whatever they're going to do between the Rumble and Mania. That I can absolutely see. But the Sami Zayn thing. What's that?
Did you see his arrows shaved into the side of his head?
No, I didn't see this. Oh, I got to go back and look.
Into the side of Damien Priest's head. It was neat. It was neat. Yeah. So sorry. Go about what you were saying about the Sami Zayn thing.
Sami Zayn, I absolutely loved. I thought it was absolutely great. You don't get to see him wrestle that much, which really bums me out. And then to see him jab to Mysterio like that in 3 seconds, it was a little upsetting. But that wasn't the worst thing that happened in that match. So, it's okay. I guess we can jump right into the whole Adam Pearce thing if you want.
What, finally giving fans excitement? Finally giving fans excitement about a wrestler that hasn't done jack in like almost the same amount of time, about 3 years, except for a couple tag title runs. He has almost three solid matches in a row, and then you bring in Adam Pearce.
Wait,
I don't know.
I'm not there yet. Wherever you guys are, I'm watching the Daniel Bryan Shinsuke Nakamura, and I also don't really understand what's happening. Like, why was it Daniel? Is it some sort of gauntlet? I don't understand.
Yeah.
Like, how did I miss something? Where did Baron Corbin take out Rey Mysterio because Rey Mysterio beat Sami Zayn, and then all of a sudden Baron Corbin was in the ring?
Yeah, it's a gauntlet match.
Nakamura. It's a gauntlet match. Yeah, I think Nakamura, if I'm not mistaken, Nakamura beat Rey Mysterio, right?
Oh, did he? I missed
think
that.
If I'm remembering correctly, again, it was a couple days ago, but yeah, I think it was a gauntlet match, and Nakamura had. We're going to spoil it for you. I'm sorry. We have to talk about it because it's
spoil away, please. Absolutely,
it's a huge news story. So this is a big gauntlet match. The winner gets a shot at the Universal title against Roman Reigns at the Royal Rumble. And so it's Nakamura just had a great showing, had 3 great matches, and all of a sudden, Jey Uso hops in the ring, starts smacking Nakamura around, and then Roman Reigns brings out Adam Pearce, and apparently Adam Pearce is the last man in the gauntlet match. and Uso knocks out, super kicks Adam Pearce's face off, puts him over Nakamura, and tells the ref to ring the bell, and then the ref counts 3, and it's going to be Adam Pearce versus Roman Reigns at the Royal Rumble for the Universal Championship.
Do you know how much I care?
Right there is exactly how it went over for the rest of the world, because it doesn't really make any sense. I don't know where they're going with it. I can't imagine that this is actually going to take place. A lot of people were saying Kevin Owens would come out and be like, "Oh no, you're actually going to face me," and they're going to do some kind of weird thing with it. But it didn't make a whole heck of a lot of sense to me. Just how does Roman Reigns have this much power that he gets to beat up the guy that's supposed to be making the matches?
The official.
And just be like, the official. I mean,
How to me, often? How much were we saying? Like, we're tired of the general manager, the authority figure, the guy who makes the matches, and now like Adam Pearce is kind of all over that role, but not as real. Not it's just sort of like a who cares? You remember in Clerks 2? Remember in Clerks 2 when Elias says the line when he goes, "Who would want to see something like that? Would you want to see something like that?" That's how I feel about seeing Adam Pearce against Roman Reigns at the Royal Rumble.
Yeah, and then where does Shinsuke go after this?
Right.
Is he a face now, or does he go back?
I don't know. Well, they're going to have. I don't know.
What are you doing?
I know that they're going to have a match next week with Jey Uso and Nakamura. That's going to be a match that's happening on SmackDown. After that, I have no idea. I don't know what they're going to do. If we continue to get this version of Nakamura, I don't care what they do, because this Nakamura shined like crazy this week.
Yeah, big push on Nakamura. Big push on Nakamura. Yeah. What's going to happen with Cesaro at this point?
He tags up with another foreign wrestler.
They tag him with another foreign wrestler.
He'll tag with Tozawa or somebody like that. They'll just put him with somebody else.
Oh yeah, he's tagged with everybody now, right? Like they keep tagging him with people. He was with tagging
Jack
with
Swagger. I think he tagged with Rusev for a little bit.
Yeah, he tagged with TJ. What's Tyson Kidd? And he tagged with Sheamus. Now Nakamura, and then that's over. It's going to be like, is Tyson Kidd going to come back?
Vince is in the back. Vince is in the back. They're just trying to figure out all the countries that he's already tagged with.
He's got one of them scratch maps.
I don't know. I would absolutely love it. You need a French wrestler out there. French and Swiss. Perfect. Why is that perfect, Vince? Don't worry about it. France and Swiss are pretty much the same country anyway. Just go. Yeah, I don't know. I would love to see them do something with Cesaro, but I've been saying it every year. I'm like, all right, maybe this is Cesaro's year. Maybe they're going to push him now, and they never do. So I'm not going to get my hopes up, but maybe at least an IC title run. I'd love to see him in a feud with Big E. I think that'd be great. There's 100 guys that he would put over like gangbusters. Cesaro, I'm talking about. So it's all. I don't know why WWE doesn't see anything with him. Doesn't see anything in him. Hopefully, eventually, they'll do something.
Yeah.
Who knows? But yeah, man. There's been some crazy stuff. So we already have 2 matches as of right now for the Royal Rumble with Goldberg and McIntyre, and this crazy ass Adam Pearce thing with Roman Reigns. So it's shaping up. Royal Rumble's coming up, in I think 3 weeks, 2-3 weeks now. I'm looking forward to it. I'm gonna. I can't wait to see what they're gonna have as far as no crowd. If they're just gonna pump in those sounds again, but this time with people counting down from 10.
Yeah, that's gonna be.
I'm still gonna look forward to it though.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
are we gonna do some sort of like contest thing for that? Are we gonna do the names out of the hat, the numbers out of the hat somehow?
You're talking about for fans calling in and trying to win
just the game that we've always played. How are we doing that?
Yeah, I don't know. Matt Flowers was talking about that. We used to pick numbers out of a hat, and then we would put money on it. You would have to pay for a number. It's like a little side bet thing that we used to do, where you put certain like $1 a number or $5 a number or something like that, and if your number wins the Rumble, then you get the pot. I think I still owe Nick Burke $5 time we did that because he won with McIntyre. But yeah, I don't know. Matt Flowers was talking about getting a whole bunch of people together to do it. I don't know if we can do it. I'm in. I'm all for it, and we'll just have to Venmo everybody, I guess, or PayPal or something.
PayPal, Cash App. That's all I got.
Yeah,
PayPal and the Cash. and like. I think you can pay through Facebook Messenger as well now.
You can request money through Facebook Messenger. It's weird, but yeah, you can do it. We'll see if I'm going to be on because I'm not sure when indoor dining is definitely starting in a week or two. So see if I can jump on. So we have 2 major contracts up. Do you think either one of them are going to show up at the Rumble? So you have Jay White. From
Jay White, from what I'm hearing, isn't happening. Who's the other one?
Marty Scurll.
Scurll, really? I don't know. They've been talking about him for a while, especially in AEW. I've been hearing a lot of that talk because he was part of that whole Click Bullet Club type of thing, right?
Yeah.
From what I remember,
wasn't he canceled at some point?
Was he really?
Yeah. They still haven't shown if it's actually gone through or not. I think he's still in like battles over that.
Yeah, he's not getting picked up. He's not getting picked up because of the cancellation.
Because of the
Eek. Yeah, from what I hear, his are ugly. I haven't heard, but from what they actually are, but from what I heard, whatever he's being accused of is pretty bad. So, but I didn't know because I don't see Jay White coming anyway because nobody's really going to know who he is.
No one's going to know who that guy is.
He's not AJ.
I only heard his name like 2 days ago. Otherwise, before that, I had no idea who that guy was. So
he's the guy they tried to build a Bullet Club around after all the stars left. They just dumped in his lap. They're like, here's the Bullet Club. Poor guy.
And it did not work. Apparently, back when they were starting AEW back in 2018, they tried to contact him to try to bring him in, and he said something about signing a 7-year contract with New Japan. I don't know if that's true or not, but this week or last week, he came out and said that he's trying to quit New Japan. But New Japan apparently still has him booked on shows through March. So I don't know. Maybe it's just a really big
bro.
7 years, man. Been here for 7 years.
I've never heard of a 7-year contract ever.
No.
I was listening to the Talking Shop podcast this week with Gallows and Anderson and Rocky Romero. And they were talking about someone signing, and Luke Gallows said jokingly, he's like, was it the 2-year contract or the 7-year contract? And they were laughing. So maybe it's a New Japan thing. They sign, like, you can sign for a short deal or like a very long deal.
Is Rocky Romero still wrestling?
Kind of.
Yes. What do you mean?
He wrestled at Wrestle Kingdom in the Battle Royal.
Okay.
But from what I hear, he did commentary, and I think he's one of their bookers.
How come Why don't they? I don't see why there is no effort to bring him to AEW. I would rather see him teaming with Trent Beretta than seeing Chuck Taylor teaming with Trent Beretta. Not to say that, like, it's just that Roppongi Vice was such a better tag team than Best Friends.
Roppongi Vice. Forgot about them.
Right.
I think he's very comfortable in his new role. He's in management in AEW. I mean, in New Japan, and he's doing commentary and he's doing a bunch of stuff over there. I think he's just happier there.
All right. I just I'm not a big fan of the Best Friends. Like, it doesn't feel like they're even really friends. Like, they don't like match or click, or like there's no vibe happening that makes me go, oh wow, these guys really are best friends. And then like I'm gonna get back at you for destroying my mom's minivan. Like, that's so stupid. Like, these are supposed to be adults in a contest, in sort of like a feud. Like, how is this a feud in pro wrestling to be like, whoa, you damaged my mom's minivan, so you going down, sucker? Like, it just, to me, I don't get it. But
it's better than WWE's. Can I have a match? Can I have a title match? And everybody's like, yeah, you can have one. It's the whole entire WWE anymore. Nobody earns a title match. You just run in the ring when the guy's talking. You're like, I want a match. All right, you have one.
All right. Well, since you asked.
Nicely, you were nice about it, so I guess we'll give you one. Another thing I wanted to bring up was about the network. Did you see that? A lot of people are complaining that they took WrestleMania 24 off the network. Did you see anything about this?
Why did they take
That's
it off
the one
the
where
network?
Shawn Michaels and Ric Flair, their big retirement match.
I love you. I'm sorry. I love you. I'm
What's up?
sorry, but I love you. I'm sorry, but I'm never going to show you this match again.
Right.
Why was that taken off?
WWE didn't really give a reason for it. They just said that they noticed it and they're going to put it back up. A lot of people are speculating that it's because that's the one with Floyd Mayweather, and they think that the song that he came out to was a song that was used without his permission or something like that. Or hang on a second, I have the article here. Speculated reason for this has been the use of disputed track during Floyd Mayweather's entrance for his match against Big Show. Anthony Lawrence Dash, you know, that famous writer, sued the boxer for using a theme containing the beats they used without his permission. PW Insider has confirmed that this is the reason why the review was pulled from the network. So they're saying it's confirmed, but the guy lost a lawsuit because he failed to prove that either Mayweather or the WWE made money off the music. So I guess they're just kind of taking it on, changing the music, just to avoid future problems.
Yeah, they'll probably do what they do with the old ECW tapes.
Yeah, like the New Jack theme song. They'll give Floyd New Jack's song. Oh man, it's terrible. It's so bad.
That's bad. Sandman, when he used to have Sandman come out and they have like some weird generic like Enter Sandman playing. It doesn't even fit the beats when he's all smashing the beer with his head.
Sleep with both eyes closed. Gripping your teddy bear tight.
Is it like the Diamond Dallas Page Self High Five song that's totally not Nirvana? Totally not. Smells like.
Remember when WCW did that for a while? Like all the wrestlers are coming out to like rip-offs of like grunge themes.
Yeah. Oh man, that's a way to get around it. I guess.
I think Tommaso's theme now sounds like Taz's old WWE theme, like just the beginning, like the. It's
Roman Reigns' theme song is
the Shield theme.
It's the Shield theme is Taz. That's the old Taz theme music.
It's just slow down, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's the old theme without the whatever heart monitor thing in the beginning. Yeah.
And
I think at the time
walking in different directions. Remember the entrance? It would be
time.
Taz?
It's
You would have
really
to
time for Roman to get a new song.
It is.
It's the worst. Like
It's time, but they haven't.
it's been time. It's overtime.
It's overtime. He's getting paid extra. Time and a half.
We'll give him another one.
I'm fine with the theme. I think it's a half decent song, and it kind of fits with the heel gimmick. The way he comes out and kind of just that smarmy, slow ass walk to the ring he does now. It kind of fits. So I mean, I'm okay with it. At least he's not wearing the tack vest or nothing anymore. So I'm happy about that. Let's just baby steps, one step at a time as we change Roman Reigns. I don't honestly, the gimmick is so good. I don't really care what he comes out to. He could come out to, Pleasant Valley Sunday by the Monkees, and I would still think the gimmick is awesome.
Well, they're right now they're just revamping Raven's old WWE theme music, and then he's going to come out to that.
Oh my goodness! Speaking of, was that your impression of Raven's theme song?
Yeah, it sounds like. There you go.
There you go. There it is. One more story I wanted to get to real quick was about X-Pac. Did you hear him come out and say he doesn't want to be in the Hall of Fame?
No one cares. No one cares.
I mean,
so basically, X-Pac is already in the Hall of Fame as a member of D-Generation X, and he was supposed to go in this past year as a member of the NWO. And now he came out and said he doesn't want to be put into the Hall of Fame as a single star. I have his exact quote here. I've said this, and I mean this from the bottom of my heart. I have no desire whatsoever to stand up there by myself to give an acceptance speech for another Hall of Fame. I don't like that situation, staying there in front of thousands and thousands of people. It's one thing to stand there and have a match, but I'm not that guy. It was never my thing. I was never the big jabberjawer. I have some things to say sometimes, and I think they came off as authentic, and I think that's why people liked me, but I was not getting Promo of the Year awards ever. Basically a long-winded way of saying I'm too uncomfortable in front of crowds, which is
why does he need 3 rings anyway? Why does he need 3 Hall of Fame rings?
He doesn't. But I mean, I don't think anybody's coming up to him anytime soon and being like, "Hey, X-Pac, you're going into the Hall of Fame solo next year." It would be 3 rings pretty much back to back, which would be also very weird.
What is Hunter just sitting there going, how many rings can I give my friends? Like, come on, dude. Like,
I mean, yeah, pretty much. If Triple H is in charge of that, I can absolutely see that being the reason. But I don't know, man. I mean, for X-Pac to come out and say that, it's like, dude, you're X-Pac. And you're turning down being the most decorated Hall of Famer ever in the history of the WWE. Like, really? Like, you're X-Pac. You know what? We're going to put you in a 4th time as a member of X Factor, so suck it.
It never made sense to me. It never made sense to me anyway. You got Bret Hart, he goes in, and then they give it to the Hart Foundation. Why couldn't they just give it to Jim the Anvil Neidhart? Bret already had one.
Yeah,
and they were doing that. Shawn got his Hall of Fame ring, but then he had to get a Hall of Fame ring for DX.
And Ric Flair has 2.
Yeah,
the Horseman for singles. He's probably going to get one for Evolution as well.
Most likely.
Yeah. So
X-Pac's getting one for Evolution also. They're just going to throw him in there. Triple H is going to lie to everybody. Yeah, he was. He was the 5th member. He's the one singing.
He's the one singing.
let me / tell you something.
X-Pac.
So yeah.
No one has had a lesser career in wrestling. I'm sorry. Like, what did X-Pac really do? I mean, he was very pivotal in the whole when they were bouncing people back and forth. But really, what was his career besides that? Like,
X-Pac is basically famous just for being a part of stuff like DX and NWO, and he was never popular by himself. Like, I think he had a run as like European champion or something, but other than that, Didn't really do
Does
anything.
Does he get a ring for X Factor too? Come on, man. It's just like
He teamed up with
Kane in
Kane
the
once, and
Hall
he
of
did a
Fame?
ring for it. Kane, no.
Kane should be in the Hall of Fame. Like that's absolutely a thing. Like for that to not be a thing, and for X-Pac to be in there 3 times, and for Kane to not be in there even once, is like what's going on?
I would do Taker and Kane on the same night.
Mm.
That would be really cool to have both of them go on the same night.
You know, give him 2 rings. Like put in Taker by himself, put in Kane by himself, and then put in the Brothers of Destruction all on the same night. Give them 2 rings apiece on the same night. There you go. That's how you sell tickets, damn it. That's how you get ready.
Don't come back. We're not bringing you back after this. Here's all your rings. Here's a box of them. Team Hell No. Here's a ring for that. What's that thing you do with Hurricane? Yeah. Here's a ring for that one.
A team with X-Pac. So X-Pac will get another ring. God damn it.
It's 5, 6 rings for X-Pac, something like that.
X-Pac walking up there like Tom Brady. Like, just do it.
No, but admittedly, I was a huge X-Pac fan when I was a kid. Like, I think at one point I was like, yeah, this dude might be like my favorite wrestler. I mean, when he was like big in DX, what year was that? That was like the late 90s.
97.
It was like 97, 98, 99. Yeah, I was a big fan. I was a big fan of him back then. And I was like, oh man, he's like small like I was. I mean, I was in middle school, so I was like, I'm small like that. Like it kind of inspired me to want to do it. But like the fact that you're saying your promos stink, it's like no, you're not getting put into the Hall of Fame for your body of work due to the mic skills. You're getting because of what you were involved with, the matches that you had, because never did X-Pac have a bad match. And at one point he was the measuring stick for people, for Vince McMahon. If Vince McMahon wanted to see if somebody knew how to work and have a good match, he'd put him against Sean Waltman. Sean Waltman, in my opinion, should be in the Hall of Fame, but if he doesn't want to be in it, don't put him in it. But he doesn't want to be in it because he doesn't want to give a Hall of Fame speech. Like, okay, just be like, okay, well, you're going to be in the Hall of Fame, but we'll be like, oh yeah, also in the Hall of Fame, these nerds, and then your name will get put on the list. Like, we don't give a speech then. Or just go, oh, your ass is grass and I'm going to smoke it. Whatever. I mean, just.
He's going to get a ring for playing Mizark.
Total blackface. He's a cancel-worthy thing. Marty Skrull. I just.
So there you go. There's our thoughts on X-Pac.
Dude, you know. I actually talked about the X Factor in the episode I did of my podcast with Justin Credible. Did you hear that, Rick?
Yeah.
We talked about the theme song, the Uncle Cracker theme song. And he's like, talking about how like his manager or something was also like the manager of like Kid Rock or something like that. I forget exactly what the story was. But that episode came out on Monday. But awesome, guys. Thanks.
I listened to it. It was just a while ago.
Yeah.
But yeah, little plug for that episode. Just incredible. I still have to go through that and post that to the RASSLE Rock feed. I forgot about that actually. Whoops.
Well, that's all right. He forgot about us.
So I think it's about that time that we decide who got what star shined the brightest here this week with a segment called Who Wins Wrestling. Who wins wrestling? Blah 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 blah. Who's got one? Who wants to go first here?
I'll go. This is a hard one this week because you had your Keith Lee performance, you had your Shinsuke Nakamura performance. But the biggest thing in wrestling, I'm going to have to go with that, is reuniting in the Bullet Club. 5 of the main members are all back together. It's huge for wrestling, and this having these cross promotions for these smaller federations is going to be huge. It's going to be huge. That's it. So the Bullet Club, man. Seeing them doing a little too sweet in the ring and all that was really, really dope.
Yeah, we didn't even get to talk about that. That was a pretty epic moment. It's things like that. This is why the merger or whatever, not merger, but like the relationship between Impact and AEW is really cool because you can have moments like these, and it's pretty sweet, too sweet if you would.
Also,
Corey,
I learned that Hunter hates that through the Talking Shop podcast. When the fans would do the too sweet, woo, woo, too sweet, he hated it. He hated that they would do that every time any Bullet Club member would walk into the ring.
Well, suck it, Triple H. This is the world we live in. World you created, you son of a bitch. Corey, what do you think, man? Who wins wrestling?
Dude, I'm gonna have to say Nakamura, dude. He went over clean on Mysterio, Baron Corbin, and Daniel Bryan all in one match. Like,
dude, when he took out Daniel Bryan, that was surprising.
And the fact that he's probably now going to be in a feud with Roman Reigns for the Universal title. Like that breaks him out of the. I mean, it kind of makes you like want to root for him, you know. So I have to say that I'm excited to see what happens next for him. I know that like I think that him and Daniel Bryan was something that like I think I've always wanted to see, and I think that it wasn't as good as I wanted it to be. But I mean, with the constraints that they were under, being inside of a gauntlet match, all right, you know.
I mean, it did suck. It did suck that he's a part of a gauntlet match, and that's how we got it. Doesn't mean that we'll never get it again, but for what it was, I thought it was really, really good. Good for Nakamura. I really hope that this, this sends him on his way, and we get, if he's turning face, absolutely fantastic. Let's see him in a feud with Reigns. I'd love to see those matches. I'd love to see anything with Nakamura put on another level other than, hey, I'm down here on this stagnant, tag team that isn't going anywhere because WWE hates tag teams. To keep a guy like Nakamura on the sidelines like that just because is just ridiculous. When you have that good of a wrestler just sitting there waiting. I've been saying the same thing about Cesaro as well. So yeah, I agree with you there. My pick has to be Keith Lee this week. That's my boy. I think he's absolutely fantastic. I think
Mark buried the lead. Mark really buried the lead and cut our legs out on this one. He's like, I'm going to say that all the ones that I think will win first, and then I'll cut those out and say, nah, Bullet Club dudes. Whatever you guys say next, you can have the stuff that pisses down my leg. I don't even care.
Well, yeah, man, Keith Lee pouncing Drew McIntyre over the guardrail was really, really cool. Yeah. Like it was just a brutal match. They beat the hell out of each other, and I'm glad that McIntyre was the one to step up and finally show what Keith Lee can do in the ring, and let him do it. So it was great, dude. And hopefully it transitions him higher instead of just being a guy that keeps losing to these upper tier guys right now in weird ways.
And it's cool that he showed, hey, Keith Lee is a guy that you can put in the main event anytime you want, and he'll have a great match. That Spanish Fly, dude. Jesus, man, that is just magical to watch. That is beautiful. But yeah, man, that's who wins wrestling.
Did I miss something? Because I think I missed what happened with like Sonya Deville. I don't get it. Can someone kind of explain that to me a little bit more? Like something, is she like aligning herself with Paul Heyman and that whole whole crew? Because that's what it seems like they were trying to do.
They said that she's going to be in the back helping out Adam Pearce, so she's going to be like basically an assistant to whatever the hell Adam Pearce is.
Okay.
Yeah. Unless this whole thing is a way to take Adam Pearce out just to put Sonya Deville in as the not really general manager, whatever that is.
The authority figure, the
President Jack Tunney.
Right. The Gorilla Monsoon. Right.
Yeah, I mean that was the thing. Say what you want about Jack Tunney, but he only came out and said something when an issue needed to be resolved. He wasn't out there every week going, "Oh, I'm actually going to make this match, and we're going to go to do a contract signing, and this match is going to be a tag team match now." Okay, you know.
You know what I like about that? What I liked about it was like they had him behind a desk that had like a little name tag on it. Like it was like he was doing a pre-recorded like, well, circumstances are as such, and I need to address them. Like instead of going like out and cutting a promo every damn week and saying like, oh, well, the thing I like the most about Adam Pearce so far was when he gave Miz the briefcase back. Like that's what I liked the most. That was my favorite thing he's done.
I think that might have been my least favorite thing. But man,
so
that's
bad.
cool.
It was so bad.
Yeah. But,
I did not like Legends Night at all. I must say that like no one got the Legends played no part in the show, didn't make any of the younger guys look better. And it was like at one point like Mark Henry was like for some reason on like a I broke my leg little scooter, and like Randy Orton came over to him and was like, "Hey dude, you suck. Get out of here." And he was like, "All right." And then he like scooted off. Like,
that was the whole thing. You have Randy Orton, you think he's going to just demolish like all these legends in the back, and he just comes up and tells them how much they suck and they can't beat him. And they're like, "Oh, like Big Show." He's like, "Yeah, just sit back down." And Big Show just sits down. Okay, it's like it was over.
And like the whole like Ric Flair tripped Charlotte, and then she was like, "Get out of here!" And then like 45 minutes later, he was in the back like hanging out and having a good time. What the hell is that? Like, what wouldn't he be doing his classic Ric Flair crying about stuff for a while?
I don't know. I just love that Tatanka, Sergeant Slaughter, and Mickey James, like three people you can tell never hang out ever in the back. And then Tatanka and Sergeant Slaughter in full gear just to hear puke and maggot.
Yeah, and Tatanka was like in full gear, like as if he was going to have a match. He had the baby oil on, brother. Like,
dude, he was in great shape.
Yeah,
for his age.
Yeah, totally. It was like, did these guys all get on an airplane to fly to Florida to say one maggot puke? And like, what was the point? It was.
Well, you had Melina in the back, and they just passed by her as she was doing lucha, and then that was it. That was it for Melina. Wasn't she NWA Women's Champion like a couple of months ago? Like, what the hell? And that's a woman you could bring back and put in the ring today. And you're lucha.
What I was looking forward to the most from it was like Carlito was supposed to come back, and then he just never showed up.
Yeah, it was
what happened?
There's some kind of travel issue.
Yeah,
but just like Melina, you got Mickey James standing there, who I think is still on the roster as an active wrestler, and then they're putting her in on Legends Night, and then what's her name? Alicia Fox is still insane. Like,
oh, you think you're cute? You're not that little skateboard kid from TikTok or whatever the hell she said. And like, what the hell is she even talking about?
Her and Archie should have a podcast. I would listen to it all day, every day.
Absolutely. Oh my God, that would just be so nonsensical. It would be absolutely fantastic. Yeah, the Randy Orton thing, I thought that they were going to lead up to something along the lines of what happened with Goldberg and McIntyre. If Goldberg would have came out at the end of Orton's match, after he had the match with Hardy, and was like, and cut the same promo, the same exact promo. You don't have any respect for legend, and it's about time that I put that respect into you, or whatever. That would have made sense. His promo didn't make any sense giving it to McIntyre. Now they're going to have a title match for no reason, and McIntyre's probably going to lose because WWE hates fans. That's the only thing I can think. They just hate reasoning and logic and fans. But anyway, on to better things. Let's give some praise to WWE because today is the 28th anniversary of Monday Night Raw. Raw's having a birthday today, January 11th, 1993, 28 years ago. It's Monday Night Raw's debut episode. So happy birthday. Yeah, you feel old yet? Yeah, it's one of those things. Do you think they're going to do something special and have a nice, banger episode tonight to celebrate? Probably not.
No, not at all.
But it's just an interesting factoid that I came across today as I was researching for the show. Yeah, happy birthday, Monday Night Raw. 28 years old today.
And the ratings for NXT and AEW were hurting this week due to the coup, the siege, the country falling apart in some sort of way. Everybody was addicted to cable news that day and decided not to watch wrestling.
Yeah, well, the start of a Civil War II Electric Boogaloo was happening right here in America. And
ready. I'm ready. It's gonna be like Road Warrior in like 5 years. I'm gonna kill people for water and gas. It's gonna be awesome. I have like tire shoulder pads, and it's gonna be awesome. Like some kind of mess chain tank top for no reason. Like a machete holster. I'm gonna be ready, dude. It's gonna be awesome.
Somebody somewhere right now is making legit Legion of Doom spike shoulder pads, like legit ones with actual spikes on them right now, just in preparations for what's about to happen.
They've electrified the spikes, so there will be electrified spikes.
So get well soon, America. We wish you the best. Until then, I think we better start wrapping up the show before we go a little too political. Cory,
let's coming for your canned food. I'm coming for
your canned food. Everybody check out Evolving with Cory Castle on any of the streaming platforms where you listen to and subscribe to quality podcasts. Make sure you hit that download, subscribe, react, and review and love, and keep the planet enjoying good quality things. And if you like this podcast, make sure you let us know you exist by commenting below on the video on Rick's YouTube channel, or also share it with your friends and let them know we exist.
Yeah, man. Mark, do you have anything before I go on my 1,000 plug rant?
Well, you've condensed the amount of thing.
In 5 years, when I show up with my double barrel shotgun and my tire pad shoulders, I might give you some beef jerky if you're nice to me.
Be nice to Mark. He has all the beef jerky. Just for the future. Plan for the future. Plan ahead. But yeah, Cory already stated it, man. Give a like to this video if you enjoyed it. If you're watching on YouTube, or give a like on the podcast if you're listening to us. We're going to be back for the Royal Rumble for another live stream. It feels like we haven't had one in a while, even though it was probably only a couple of weeks ago. We're used to WWE pumping out pay-per-views, every 2 weeks, but it's a nice change. But yeah, man, check out all the content on my YouTube channel. I'm putting out new matches there every day from DCW, WPW, 1CW, all kinds of places. Free wrestling content. Go check it out. That is at tinyurl.com/YouTube, Rick Connor. I do another podcast with Mark Callbacker's sister before I forget. It's called It's Something to Do. It is available wherever you listen to podcasts. We're currently doing Cobra Kai Season 3, which is just awesome and just amazing. If you're not watching it, you definitely should be watching it. Also, check out our Teespring store at teespring.com/stores/RASSLE-rock. I almost forgot about it, but everything on that site is connected to a charity, so you'll be helping people out by helping yourself out and getting some great products. You can check all of this out at RASSLERock.com. It's all contained for you in one little spot, so you don't got to go all over the internet, go searching for it. But yeah, man, give us a like, give us a comment, give us a subscribe, give us a share. Help us get out there to everybody who wants to listen to this podcast and share that free content for everyone. But that'll be about it for this episode of Rassle Rock. I'm Rick Connor.
Mark Callbacker.
Cory Castle.
And let us take it out like we always do with Mr. Nick Burke.
It's so hard to say goodbye to yesterday. Join us again for another episode of Rassle Rock. This has been Jay Davis speaking.